she made voice messages calling me gay and all that. I don't appreciate that neither. Even if I was gay, you would have slept with me because you did.
This is 25-year-old Tyrick Neal, currently explaining how he took the life of his girlfriend after she accused him of being gay.
As she was on the ground, she said, "Mama." But the traumatizing part was just watching her eyes was wide open.
But with a mountain of evidence hanging over his head, being a suspected homosexual should be the least of Tyrick's worries, because detectives will slowly begin to piece together exactly what happened to Michaela Goodson.
I don't even know how many times what she shot. I don't know. Do you know?
So you think you shot her 17 times?
Was it more?
On November 6, 2021, 21-year-old Michaela Goodson's boyfriend was in a full-blown panic. He hadn't heard from her in over a day, which was unlike her. She was hardworking, a woman who struggled, and despite everything life threw at her, got her GED and was thriving as a hairdresser. They never went more than a few hours without speaking to each other. So, desperate to see if she was okay, he raced over to her home in Camp County, Texas. And inside, he made a heartbreaking discovery. There in the entryway, he found his girlfriend, deceased from several gunshot wounds. Fortunately, it didn't take long for police to locate her killer. Why? Because 25-year-old Tyrick Neal decided it was a good idea to tell everyone he knew that he had killed her, and one of his family members promptly called the police. He was quickly taken into custody and read his rights.
So where are you actually from?
I'm actually from Dangerfield.
Did you go to school in Dangerfield?
Oh, yes, sir. That's where I graduated at. I moved to Jefferson almost 2 years ago because I have a girlfriend. We ended up making a baby, so we stand together. She also had 2 children I look up to as stepchildren as well. And my baby is actually going to turn 10 months in a couple days.
A lot of fun at that age, aren't you? She starting to walk?
Starting to.
You already walking?
I mean, she started crawling way before I expected. Like, her first time crawling was within a week. I had her on my chest. She crawled up and I happened to be recording. And I would say about 2 or 3 months ago, I just put her on the ground. She threw her. I'm like, what?
You got any
she's
other kids?
speaking.
Just the one.
10 months old.
Just the one. Yeah. She's speaking, saying mama, daddy, and all that. Yeah, really.
Well, I imagine at this point, you kind of got yourself in a jam, but you probably thinking about a lot of things, thinking about you,
my baby.
there and all that, and you just want to do the right thing, don't you?
Yes, pretty much clear my name.
So what can you tell me? I mean, how do you know Michaela?
I can't personally say I know her, but like as I said, I was in high school in Nashville and stuff. Like I used to be around like Pittsburgh, Hugh Springs and stuff like that, just chilling. Yeah, we'll see each other and speak, but we never personally knew each other. Now, I would say about 3 weeks ago, I came across her on Snapchat because we had each other on there. And it was like, this girl looks familiar. And she posted on her private story, and you know what females post on their private story? Like content. And in my mind was, oh, I want some of that. At the same time, even though I had a girlfriend, which I told her to, yes, I ended up cheating. I hit her up for that, but I also said, I don't want it to be just for that. I actually want to chill and stuff with you. And she sent her location to me. I went over there. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't smoke or nothing, but I only smoke half a little her, and she just kept smoking back after back after back after back. And I'm looking like something's not right. And I just started talking to her about my personal life, something I've never told anyone. Like how I'm the only boy. I never spoke that to anyone, not even my own girlfriend that I've been with almost 2 years. I asked her, do she have any kids? She said no, and I don't plan on it. And I said, me, in my opinion, I think every woman on this planet should have at least one. Don't rush it though. In case you go away, you can have a little piece left over. Yeah. And she actually had it in mind. I saw it in her eyes. But she never said yes or no to it. And I said, like, do anyone ever come over here? Because like when she sent me the location, I'm using my Google Maps. It was kind of hard to find because that road was so skinny. She said, no. I said, you don't have no friends or nothing. No, I'm a loner. I said, no boyfriend, no nothing. No. And then she gave me a look like, okay, it's time to have on her. So it was like, okay. I wore and we did for like 10 minutes because I really didn't feel right. I never cheated on my girlfriend a day in my life and all that.
Tyrek would never cheat on his girlfriend, but he claims he did, which brings us to the biggest shock of all. Yeah, he had a girlfriend. Keyword, girl. Now, it's worth noting that there hasn't been evidence released to suggest that he and Michaela did indeed have a sexual relationship. Unfortunately, it's his word against hers, and he took away her ability to tell her side of the story.
I ended up leaving, and I would say about 3 or 4 days later, she spams my phone with messages and phone calls. And I had my phone on Do Not Disturb at the time, which means if you call me, it's going to go straight to voicemail. You call again and actually ring. And the messages part, my phone won't light up unless I look. I just have to look. And since I'm trying to catch up with the messages with all the spamming, I seen you owe me $200. A deal is a deal. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I was like, okay, yeah, I just give her 200 or whatever. And I just leave it as that. At first I was saying no. And she made a comment saying the I have, she would give to the police and say if I didn't give her 200, and went on Snapchat calling me the N word, saying I messed with the wrong white girl. She's gonna come to my job, key my car, get 2 black dudes to shoot at me in my job, and that was a threat. And I told her, literally, I said I could report this to the police because that's a threat. But I'm not gonna do that because my mom said I'm just gonna give you 200 over whatever, and I'm just gonna block you and leave it as that. And I also said I lied to her and said I did a 2 weeks notice. That way she wouldn't show up at my job because I shouldn't feel uncomfortable being at my own job. So I lied to her. Was like, I'm out of town with my sister or whatever. Pretty much stalled because I was just gonna come over, just give her 200 and pretty much leave. Friday morning, I text her. I was like, where you at? She said, leaving Dangerfield, which I can say now she had a boyfriend, which obviously she lied about. And the boyfriend happens to be neighbors with my grandma, which I can't say personally no, but yeah, we spoke. So after work, I ended up going over there. I gave her 250 actually. I gave her 250. I ended up leaving. Then I turned around and I said, no disrespect, but I'm gonna block you in front of me, because I'm looking at that like honestly. I said that doesn't mean I have a grudge against you. Block is block. Like if I see you around, it's a hey, but I'ma still go on about my life. And I believe she understood that. Then I left, and Sunday, I just happened to go on Snap, and before I look at someone's story, it's like I've seen her. So I click, in my mind, it's like, I just seen her the other day. This can't be true. I'm like, okay. Then I seen another one, I'm like, So I goes on Facebook and I try to do a little research, like, is this true? And then I seen shot multiple times. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I'm like, maybe did they find a dude who did this or a female? We don't know. So I go across her dad's Facebook because when we were sitting there talking, I also said, hey, do you like having communication with mom, dad, anything? I also asked how long you live here. She said a month. She said she texts her mom every other day. They check up on each other. Her dad, I don't know what the grudge was, but she said, and I quote, if he comes in here, I will be his. I don't know what that was about, but I mean, that was their issues. But at the same time, he's still a father, and that is still his daughter, though. They fight or whatever. Her dad name was Michael. He's a tattoo artist. I've been a painter pleasure. I've seen him a couple times. Never got no tattoos by him, and I think he's a great artist as well. And like I was seeing threats and stuff like that, and then he started deleting it. And I also saw a post that's probably still up that says, "Who works at Golden Chick? DM me." And I happen to work at Golden Chick, and it was like, what is that supposed to mean? That was going on in my head. What was that supposed to mean? Who works there? Um, I left that alone, and I didn't work Monday, but Tuesday I did. So Tuesday I go in at 11 o'clock, and in my mind was, what was that supposed to mean? Who works at Golden Chick? DM me. That was going on in my head the whole entire time. And something said, look at my phone while I'm there. I looked. It said I missed two Facebook Messenger calls from a girl named Christy. So I told one of my managers, hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick and look at this profile because I don't know who this is. They didn't call once but twice. I looked. The age looked at least 50 years old, and I don't know her. I'm scrolling, then I seen her and Michaela. I'm like, okay, so they must be related or something. Okay. So I go back behind the counter. Christy walks in, and I'm like, I said to myself, this is the same woman who just called me. So she sits down, cross her leg, and she mugged me, and I felt uncomfortable. I didn't know what she was trying to get at. The first thing she said was, hey, is that chicken fresh? I stayed professional though. I said, yes, ma'am. Did you make the chicken? I said, no, ma'am, I'm still in training for it because I was actually getting ready to be a manager and stuff. I'm trying to learn everything. And she says, oh, well, do you know Jesus? And I said, yes, ma'am. I actually have him tattooed on my back. And she had pulled her phone out. I guess she was recording me, trying to sneak and record me or something, and said these exact words. I'm watching him right now as he works. Everyone looked at her like, who is she? And I tried to pay attention to my orders. That was a little distracting. That was really weird. And said, so what's your first name? And my boss was saying, hey, just focus on work, ignore her. So I'm like, yes, ma'am. You a Neil, huh? And I just felt like the way she said Neil, which is my last name, it kind of felt like you disrespected me. And I said, yes, ma'am. And she goes, well, hopefully Jesus forgive you and your sins one day. You murdered my daughter, said that in front of about 30 customers, which was embarrassing to me. And then I said, what? No, she said, yes, you did. Then right afterwards, of course, like we want to put her out. Like I would say, not even 1 minute later, there was a lady cop and there was an investigator as well that showed up. So to me, that kind of looked like a setup.
The Facebook posts that Tyrek alluded to here became a center point for the trial, at least for him. Because he had told everyone under the sun that he had killed Michaela, he put himself on the gossip radar for the small town almost immediately. Posts began to spread like wildfire, with her parents posting leading up to the trial that he should receive the death penalty and get a family firing squad to deliver it. While most people would just see this as an expression of grief and anger, Tyrek used these posts as something to try and protect himself throughout his trial, mainly by stating that these posts prevented him from having a fair trial. Though he probably shouldn't be fighting for fairness considering his actions.
The police and investigators will do their job and they're not going to stop it all till they find out exactly who it is. But I know it's not me, so I wasn't really too concerned. But at the same time, I said, that is someone's daughter. What if this happened to my daughter? So I'm not even mad at the little threats that Michael done, because honestly, I wouldn't post it on Facebook, but I would actually threat, though I totally understand. Because that actually could be a life sentence. And I don't even know how many times was she shot. I don't know. Do you know?
No, I know.
Was it a lot?
No, that I can't release to you.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
that's part of the investigation.
Yes, I'm not really with that drama. Also, I got tired of receiving phone calls and stuff about this and that involving me and Michaela. So I ended up changing my phone number because also, like I said, people sit here and just talk and just spread things. Little do You might have heard I hit the lottery, I would say about 5 months ago for 200,000. Bought my own trailer house, my own land, and all. Well, for a second I bought my land, but I was planning on ending up switching somewhere else, probably going maybe out of Texas, just because of this situation. Just to get my baby and my stepkids out of harm's way and all that. And right now, how this is looking is not looking too good as well. So, in the police eyes, which are you consider one an investigator? You consider one? It'll look like I'm running. Meanwhile, I'm telling you, yes, I was at the house the whole entire time. I didn't talk to nobody. All I did was change my phone number. I told you where my car is. Um, The investigator also ended up getting my girlfriend's number. Even though I changed she didn't change her. That was in case they wanted to contact me. So it was like, there was really no questions or anything for me. So I pretty much was just laid back or whatever till we get to the bottom of this. And for a second in my mind, I'm saying, maybe I should just go up here. They'll just hold me in custody, and if you have any questions for me, I'm down to answer. So I ended up finding me a lawyer just in case, if you have to, which I ended up getting about by midnight anyway. I am still in shock that she's gone. And then I saw the other day they had the funeral. I also seen like pretty much Michael tried to be calm about it when he made a post saying something like, whoever did this, can you please confess up? I saw that and said, he also said, I know you're watching these posts and all that. And at the same time, out of everyone that works at Golden Chick, Christy approaches me out of everyone. And I also said this to my boss. Not only did I feel uncomfortable, as far as we know, how do we know that she didn't have a gun on her? She could have blasted off just because.
Michaela very clearly did not take her life, as Tyrek is trying to suggest. This is evidenced by the fact that A, 2 magazines of ammunition were shot at her, B, there was no gun near her, C, Tyrek confessed to everyone about what he had done. Well, except for the cops. And for some reason, he's more comfortable admitting that he killed someone than he is about addressing another rumor floating around.
Tell me about this lottery. That's interesting.
Oh,
I don't know if I ever met anybody won a lottery.
200,000. It was a $5 lottery ticket.
Yeah. So how they pay that out? All at once, or were
I had to go all the way to Austin. They taxed me 49,000. Yeah, this a lot.
The government gonna get their share. So how do they pay you? By the week or month or year?
No, I ended up getting the whole thing. Yeah, they wrote it down in a check. I ended up making me a whole bank account. And
where you got it in the bank?
Bank of America.
And you just draw it out when you want it, huh?
Pretty much.
Well, if you got that kind of money, why you over there cooking chicken?
I told her the goal is I'm trying to be a manager too, and right through you gotta try to do the time limit things. You try to be number one. I said, when I'm here, we gonna be number one. She'll tell you. I said that. I said, if it ain't first, it's last to me. Yes.
Well, I heard you make a statement here just a little bit ago about, you're gonna get picked up for this if the police find you and all that, but you feel like they'll do a good job on the investigation because they'll know what they're doing and all that sort of thing. Do you believe that? Do you think that we would have arrested you? We had a warrant to arrest you on. Do you think we could get a warrant if we didn't know what we're doing and have some facts?
Right.
You believe that we had some facts to get the warrant? You believe that we know that there's lots of surveillance methods today. There's lots of technology available. Of course, you got all the lab stuff, the DNA stuff, and all this stuff. Some of that takes a little time. We don't have everything all finished immediately. Some of it we got, some of it's pending, but we know a lot about you. We know a lot about the case. And we didn't just run out there and say, hey, let's grab up Tyrek and see what he'll tell us. I mean, we've got enough to make the case on here, we wouldn't get the warrant. So the investigation is been done. And you're being deceptive with us on part of that, you know. You're not telling us everything. Well,
You know, the deal is, man, if we didn't have enough, we wouldn't be here. What I'm trying to figure out, do I think you're a horrible person? No. But with what was done, I mean, most people would look at it as horrible. Things happen. I mean, people get in fights, people get shot over that. All we want is the truth, what really happened. And like I said, like he told you, if we didn't have the evidence, we wouldn't be sitting here with you right now. Because believe me, getting a murder warrant is not an easy job. I mean, all I'm asking you to do is tell me the truth, the honest truth.
Okay, everything I told you was the truth, and me giving her money was the truth.
there was no money found on her there. There wasn't any money left there.
I don't know. I left for a second, like I said, and
Tell us about the gun that you had. We know you had a gun. We already know that.
I have one gun reported stolen, and I also had another. It was a Sky, you know that? It was never for harm's way. It was, like I said, I feel like someone was always coming after me. I came back. I knocked on the door and she said, come in. And she was sitting on the couch smoking a blunt. And I said, hey, we need to talk. And I said, I don't really appreciate all the spamming and stuff. And then you saying I went, not only that, in the message, she made voice messages calling me gay and all that. And I said, I don't appreciate that neither. Plus, that just tells me, even if I was gay, you would have slept with me because you did. And she stood up and got in my face and said, she can talk to me any type of way she wants to. This is her house. And I put my hands up and then I was backing up as if I was going to leave. And excuse my language, but she said, a white like me would actually kill you and did this with her fist. And then I said, that's another threat. And she said, you can take that how you want to take that.
Now, there is nothing to support that Michaela claimed Tyrek was gay, aside from Tyrek's words. Yet clearly this is the only thing that's made him show a single spark of emotion throughout the interrogation, which really isn't helping his denial or the next claim that he's going to make.
Like, you can tell I'm not a bad person at all. My mindset is this, how I'm real nice to everyone. I don't bother no one or nothing. If you like switch up on me like that, my mindset, hey, you don't deserve it. That's just mindset wise. And I said, and I quote, do you remember when we was talking and I told you that I was crazy in mind? She said, yes, what is that supposed to mean? And everywhere I go, I have my gun because I always feel unprotected. I just cocked it to scare her. And I said, one of us have to go. When I said that, I guess she thought I was playing, and the meaning of that means I was going to either let her kill me or that was going to happen, because I also saw her last post, which was on a Wednesday, that said, Lord, watch over me and my envy, which is enemies, and put praying hand emojis and 100 emojis, which means to me that she felt like life was over for her anyway, but it shouldn't have been done. She ended up saying stop playing, and then I gave a sad look, like the look you're giving right now. I didn't respond or nothing. She said, I'm going to call the police. I said, no, wait. She pushed 9. And from that, it's like you was going to snitch. And I really was not trying to do that at all. I was not trying. That was not really the intention at all. Because if anything, if you saying I wanted her dead, how come I didn't do it the day we actually had? You know, this is actually a serious case, and what's gonna hurt the most, me not seeing my baby every single day. Like, it was kind of hard for me to go to sleep. I haven't cried in a long time. As a matter of fact, after it got done, I did cry, and I've been praying every single day for forgiveness and all that. And it is haunting as well. I can tell that she was a good person because also when I told you my car's at my dad's house, she was in my back seat the whole time. And the other day,
In the back seat.
of my car, like her spirit was with me.
You were in your mind, you could
Yes, and
visualize her in the back seat.
my girlfriend would tell you this. It just happens every time that night. Like the guilt. I'm just sitting there and then I'm just freezing. I'm just laying down on the bed looking at the ceiling, not blinking. It's creeping her out.
So once she dialed the 9, what happened from there?
I took one fire shot. That I believe was in the stomach because I did see her crouch and said ow and all that. And like I said, all the anger that I always hold because I don't really get into it with anyone. People does intend to make me mad. Like it's in mine is you don't deserve to live, but I never attempted to actually shoot anyone nor hurt anyone. I would always walk away from the situation. And it just kept going and going and going. And her last words to me was, I'm sorry. And my last words was, I'm sorry too. And that day I was actually planning on going on vacation as well because I worked so much. I feel like, hey, I deserve to go out of town for a little bit and all this.
Fortunately for Tyrek, he's going to go downtown for a long time because of all this.
Okay, so let me take you back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're saying you fired 1 round in the stomach.
Yeah, the first shot.
So what happened from there?
After that, of course, she gonna say, "Oh, that's pain." She was holding her stomach, and I said, "You're not gonna do this anymore." And of course, you're not gonna really respond because of pain. And I fired a couple more rounds, and I remember her saying, "Please stop." And I put this on my door like for a sec. I actually did. Because she was on the ground and she was alive, breathing. I crouched down as if I'm gonna get her and take her to the hospital because she was still alive. And in mine, it was, that's really not how it goes. Once you start, you have to finish. So it hurts me to say it, but I ended up finishing it. And it really hurts because I'm young and all that, and the last person that should have did it.
How many clips did you have with you at the house that day?
2.
Okay. How many times do you think you actually shot her?
17.
Okay. How many rounds total did you have? I mean, you had 2 clips. Do you know how many actual rounds of ammo you had with you that day?
I might have been. Let me see. It holds 10 inside the clip, and then as you would know, you can do 1 in the head. that equals 11. And if you do that for both, that equals 22. But I don't recall doing 22. Yeah, I would say about like 17.
So you think you shot her 17 times?
Was it more?
Well, I mean, I'm asking you. I mean,
Do I think? Okay. If not 17, then 19 at the most.
okay. Where's the gun at now?
I gave it to my girlfriend brother, and he knows someone, and they destroyed it. I don't have it. I don't have any protection whatsoever. No shotgun, no nothing.
So you said you gave Michaela $250?
Something like that.
Did you take it back? Pick it back up after you shot her? You left it?
It was $200 bills and a 50, solid 50. And I was actually looking for somewhere to cash my check because I actually got paid today. And really my intention was, hey, you just gonna come with me and actually watch me cash my check. So you can just go ahead and get this. And I pretty much was getting cursed out and called the N-word, yeah.
She just disrespected you and kept calling you names, and it's easy to lose your temper when that happens, isn't it? I mean, a lot of people would do that.
Mm-hmm. And I was talking to my sister about it, and we sat there and cried, and then she, like, since I'm her brother, she actually knows, did you really want to kill her? And I told her, just think about it. I would not have went over there and actually tried to talk or nothing. It could have just barged up in there doing extra. That didn't happen.
Did she let you in the door, or was it locked?
My sister?
No.
Oh, Michaela. She let me in.
Did she get up and open the door or come to the door?
I called her and I was like, I'm on my way. She said, okay. And we left it as that. Then I knocked. She said, come in. Because she knew I was on my way, she left the door unlocked. And she was just sitting on the couch smoking.
How many times do you think you shot her before she died? She keeps struggling for a while and asking you to quit. You said she was asking you to stop or something there.
In all honesty, you said before she did, I would say this. She was a strong girl. There is no way I could have took that, but at least 11 and was still a lot. I was
still
like,
moving?
Yeah.
Was she talking?
Like she was trying to say something. And then I had a flashback the other day because I kept questioning myself, was she really going to call the police? Then it hit me as she was on the ground. She said, Mama. So that hit my mind. She was probably trying to scare me, trying to say, hey, I'm going to call the police. But the intention was to call Mama.
Michaela was deeply, deeply loved by her mother, father, and step-parents, who are still in mourning to this day over the loss of her. She was just 21 years old, and her life was snatched from her, all over an alleged $200 and a rumor.
What do you think what finally killed her?
I think bleeding out.
Where would be your last shot? Did you notice where you last shot her, and did that have any great effect?
Was it head? Was it headshot?
I'm not sure.
Where did you shoot her at?
You said you shot her first time in the stomach.
For sure.
And then
I know one.
Were you just shooting her? Were you aiming for certain parts of the body, or
it
what?
was just click, 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 click. I do remember looking. I'm just gonna guess and say one was her thigh because I did see blood because I remember her having on black tights and I just saw blood just coming from her thigh. So I'm just gonna assume one was there. The last bullet, I have to say it was somewhere between here and here. I can't remember exactly how, but the traumatizing part was just watching it go away slowly, and then her eyes was wide open.
And that happened after the last shot.
And you just still heard like I knew it was over.
What'd you do then? How long did you stay?
I end up I end up leaving, and then my adrenaline just started rushing. And in my mind, I was gonna just go ahead and just come to the police station. And I didn't. I stopped. I pulled over not that long, about a good 30 seconds, and I said, I need my baby. And that's what I did. I went home. No vacation, no nothing. I had my baby since.
So what about the trip to San Antonio that night? You didn't go to San Antonio that night?
I was at home.
How many people have you told about this? Your dad,
My dad,
your
my
girl-
sister,
girlfriend.
my girlfriend, brother, and two of my homegirls. That's only five.
Have you told your girlfriend the whole story? So she knows everything?
she pretty upset?
Mine. I was talking to her actually 2 days ago. You know, with the I'm sorry, and it should never happen. She honestly said, like, yeah, she said that happened. Her concern was not the cheating part. She's glad, like, I'm okay, like my well-being and all that. And in her mind was, we started panicking a little bit. What if the Texas Rangers just barge up in here, you know? And I said, if I hear anything, you know, do what you gotta do, turn yourself in. And 2 days ago, like I said, I've been in the house literally the whole time. The reason why I didn't turn myself in because I even told her when I was talking to her the other night, that time is actually ticking. It's coming. Thanksgiving's coming up.
Yeah.
I said I feel like not only did I cheat on you, I feel like I failed as a father because I even told my stepchildren, even my baby, I will get y'all something for Christmas. And I don't want to feel like a liar, especially looking them directly in their face. But and like there are consequences, and you do have to face them. And here I am.
So how long had you and Michaela actually been talking? I mean,
Like when we found each other, pretty much, yeah, from the Snapchat we text that day. Since then, no, and then I would guess and say on the Thursday, that's when she blew me up. You know, there was no communication the other days, no nothing.
did y'all get in an argument at Golden Chick?
Me and Michaela?
So y'all never had an argument?
But she actually told me this though. Hey, I think I actually seen you that work there at Golden Chick. Maybe you should try to give me some free food, like joking around. No, yeah, okay. No, I've never seen her there though. Never. I told her I don't pay attention to it. People.
Before the night that you had the problem and ended up shooting her, how long had you been going over to her house just prior to that? How many? A week or two, or?
That was actually my second time.
So you'd only been over once. How many times did you have with her in the last
Once.
2 or 3 weeks?
That was the first and that was the last.
How many times did you have with her?
Once.
Once. So one time. And then after that, she wanted you to pay her. She never said anything about money before y'all had, or after you did. She just waited till the next day to start that.
She waited a couple of days later, and mentioned $200, saying a deal is a deal. And I didn't know exactly what she was talking about, but with the threads and stuff, it was whatever, like I said, I get 200,000. Here you go. It would have been like, here you go. That wouldn't have been a problem. Like I said, I sit there and blocked her right on front of her. I did.
You took a what?
I blocked her on
Oh.
Snapchat in front of her.
I see.
Not her personal phone number. I didn't block the personal phone number because one day you actually might need someone. One day I could be down and that could be someone I could actually go to,
Tyrek clearly can't comprehend how insane his actions were, murdering someone over alleged fear of them spreading a rumor and over $200. But the most troubling thing of all is how nonchalant he is about what he's done, and how nonchalant he's expecting Michaela's family to be about it. Because the next request he makes may be one of the most disturbing that we've heard. Keep in mind, Michaela's father, who has been calling for the death penalty for Tyrek, is a tattoo artist.
Also, if you could, whatever happens, which I'm still gonna be hurt about to this moment, could you reach out to her family and let her know I am truly sorry, and hopefully one day they could forgive me, and the dad actually can tattoo the date of the day that she passed away in Roman numerals right there across my neck.
That'd probably be something you'd need to, later on down the road. I don't think we need to.
Mm-hmm. Because I know you talking to me. I don't know if you.
The question, and I think this is what you're saying. You know what remorse is? It's like you regret what happened. You feel sorry about it.
Yes.
If we were asked, did he show any remorse? In other words, did he regret, feel sorry about what happened? Did he wish it hadn't happened? Are you telling us yes, you did?
I regret it. I think about this every single day. What would have been done differently? It would have been the threats that she did. I could have called the police, even though I literally texted and said, but I'm not going to do that. I could have did that, but not you guys, but most polices, they act kind of racist. It's like they just let white people get away with anything, and since I'm black, it's like, forget it. Like the other day I'm watching the news, a white dude killed 3 people. They showed the judge that he got away with it on video of AR. Like that was crazy.
We have a job to do.
Mm-hmm.
When something happens,
you have to do your job.
Crime happens, our obligation is to investigate it. We're going to investigate it fairly to the victims, and we're going to be fair and talk to you. We told you everything up front that we went through there to start off with. We told you didn't have to talk to us and all that, and I'm glad you cleared your conscience of it, and that way if the family or the district attorney that'll be prosecuting the case ask us, did you show any remorse? Were you sorry that it happened? You're telling us that you're sorry it happened. And that's something, we can pass on. Some people might just say, oh, I'm glad I got rid of her, You're not saying that. And you willingly talked to us. You agreed to, you understood your rights. You understood you didn't have to talk to us, and you waived those rights to voluntarily talk to us. And therefore, I feel like you want to clear your conscience of it. You've been thinking about it a lot. You've been saying you have. You've been seeing mental pictures of her riding in a car with you, and you've been thinking about it a lot, and you're making a move now to move on, clear your conscience of some of those things, and actually own up to what happened, and we'll just see where it goes from here.
My worst fear was hearing something like life sentence. That was my worst fear, especially not being able to see my little girl actually take her first steps.
You've been totally honest with us on the facts now. You started off trying to avoid some of it, but then you come around, and so what you told us about the shooting of Michaela and how it happened and that you did it and all that's true.
Yes, because in mine, at first, when she was spamming the text, it was like, how do I know if she get this money from me people at my job still won't come and shoot and then key up my car. You still don't know. You can still get away with that. How do I know if that's not true? I don't know.
But you're telling me now everything you've told us here in the last few minutes is the truth.
Everything is the truth. Cross my heart and hope to God.
I don't think of anything else, so.
I can't either. I mean, I appreciate you being honest with me.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, do I think you're a bad person? No. But like I said, things happen. You know, arguments happen, you know, and just the heat of the moment, you know, you do things that you don't think about.
And the whole part that kind of hurt me the most is how she lied about the boyfriend part and then not having friends, because one of her friends posted her. And it's like, you just told me you didn't have any friends at all. This was the first post I seen. I was like, wow. How I feel about this, yes, I am truly sorry, but I think people just want something to talk about and then actually acting like they care. But I can honestly say, even though I wasn't even fooling with her like that, people wasn't fooling with her. They just trying to fool with her now because she's not here, want something to talk about, just pretty much spread rumors, and I don't think that's fair at all.
What's really not fair is that Michaela was 21, with her whole life ahead of her. Fortunately, the courts felt the same. At trial, Tyrek pleaded guilty to murder in order to avoid the death penalty, earning himself life in prison without the possibility of parole. As we stated earlier, he's still desperate to prove that his trial was inadequate because of Facebook posts and social media rumors about his involvement in the crime, despite the fact that he fully confessed to it. Ultimately, he will be behind bars until his dying days, and he has imposed the same sentence on Michaela's family, who will go the rest of their lives without hearing her laugh or seeing her smile. Our thoughts are with Michaela's friends and family. Thank you for watching today's video. Whether you're new here or have been with us for a while, check out one of the craziest cases I've ever covered right here, or one of my newest uploads right here.